Ireland's Ancient East is a new initiative that's being created by Failte Ireland. We were looking to see what we can do to actually grow visitor numbers and revenue into this part of the country. The southeast actually underperforms in terms of international visitors. We get 23% of the market, but I suppose more frighteningly is we only get 11% of the revenue. And so what that means is that this part of the country is a transit zone. So the visitors actually pass through here on their way, maybe west, so they come from Dublin and they go through. And so what we had to do was to look at how can we get the visitors to get more visitors, to get them to stay longer and to spend more money. And we went out to the visitors and we asked them what do they want. We talked about this part of the country and we identified that the really unique elements are this 5,000 years of history, this beautiful lush green landscape, and also the people and the stories that they tell. So stories told by the best storytellers in the world. And when we combine those three things together, we get something that's very differentiated, but more importantly, it's compelling. So the challenge for us with the international visitor is not just to have awareness and have something that they like, but actually something that they want to come to now. So we've got over 30 Ireland's Ancient East branded tours coming into the country in 2016. We've started actually now marketing to the actual visitor themselves. So our sister agency, Tourism Ireland, is responsible for marketing the island of Ireland overseas. They've created an Ireland's Ancient East bespoke ad, which does feature Waterford front and centre. And so that ad is breaking in the US in January, and it's also going to be shown in some of the European markets. So Waterford is really front and centre. If you look at the international visitor, they have awareness of only certain pockets of Ireland's Ancient East. And so if we look at their behaviour right now, they stop in Waterford, they come to the Viking Triangle, they go to the Waterford Crystal. They also stop in places like the Rock of Cashel and Tipperary, or they go to Newgrange, or they go to Kilkenny Castle. And so if you look at Waterford, it has in the city this amazing heritage around these beautiful museums in the Viking Triangle, but also great product like the Waterford Crystal product. And so that is part of our story. But the way we're going to be marketing the brand is actually telling the stories. So we're telling stories of ancient Ireland, we're telling stories of Christian sacred Ireland, we're telling stories about castles and conquests, of houses and hardships. And so actually if you look at Waterford, so if you look at Lismore, if you look at Dungarvan, if you look at the Copper Coast, all of those have stories that will weave into these other bigger stories. So I guess the important thing for us is to make sure that we're doing the big story that can hook and excite and interest the visitor, and then actually get them to explore a little bit more and tell those individual stories. So from Waterford's perspective, it would be one of our focus points within Ireland's Ancient East, and it will be integrated into many of our stories.